Welcome to BDO World Hockey magazine. In today's edition, you'll see the benefits of Spain's emphatic win in the men's Samsung Champions Trophy in Lahore. Learn why one of the world's best female strikers is taking a break from the game.
So far it's proven to be really refreshing.
And hear from international master coach Rick Charlesworth.
That's the stuff of quality coaching.
But first, let's recap what's been happening in hockey.
Oh, and make that 5 goals in total, 4 from PCs.
And perhaps the most talked about issue in the game is the effect on penalty corner strikers of a rule to limit the bow in their sticks. Much of the power affected by the most powerful drag flick exponents comes from the curve of their sticks. The FIH is concerned that the extent of the bow in some sticks has increased significantly over the last few years, up to an allowed limit of 50 millimetres, which appears to enable an increase in the power or swing speed with which some players can flick the ball, especially in shots for goal. Limiting the bow at just 25 millimetres will curb some of the power without detracting from dribbling and other ball control skills.
This is the bit where you use for the drag flick. This is the bit you use most because that's where you give it all the power with. So definitely the power will be reduced. Because the lighter the bow, the less speed you can give the ball. But I think that the really good flickers, they still should be able to get enough power on it. And I think it's a good thing because with the really big bows, even guys that technically are not very well can still give the ball a hell of a lot of speed.
Yep. So you think it'll certainly make it harder to do the drag flick?
Yeah, I think now it becomes more again a real technique, and guys have to perfect the technique and train a lot on it instead of. Sometimes I've got the feeling now that even guys that technique is not really good but are just very strong are now able to give it a lot of speed, and a lot of it has to do with the bow.
For international matches, the rule takes effect from 2006. However, individual national associations have the discretion to decide the date of implementation for matches within their jurisdiction, so that they can delay implementation for levels of the game where other sticks are likely to continue to be used. Incidentally, Takitakama played for New South Wales in the Australian Hockey League finals, helping the Waratahs to a thrilling victory over the Queensland Blades. If you'd like your association's news in this program, send us an email to bdoworldhockey@worldhockey.org.
Now Allegra in the circle. Can he get the finish? Puts it back.
Yes.
And eventually it's put away by Victor Sojo.
Spain's spectacular win at the Samsung Champions Trophy tournament in Lahore last December has produced a bonus for the Spanish team, with sponsorship from the Spanish member firm of the worldwide public accounting network, BDO International.
That's the ball game. Spain has won its first Champions Trophy.
BDO is already a global partner of the International Hockey Federation, and its independent member firms have been active in promoting the game at a local level. At the start of its own global sponsorship, BDO International was the naming rights sponsor of the 2003 BDO Champions Challenge tournament in Johannesburg, an event well supported by BDO's South African member firm and coincidentally won by Spain. More recently, the BDO member firm in Argentina joined BDO International in being the principal sponsor for the 2004 Women's Champions Trophy in Rosario. The Spanish BDO firm was a supporter of last year's Olympic qualifying event in Madrid, marked by Spain's terrorist bombings. They're now committing themselves to the national men's team.
Now 3-on-1 here, chance for a mat, lovely ball, great finish from Frischer. And the Dutch defence had gone to sleep.
Today is an important day for the sport of hockey and for BDO. It marks yet another partnership between the two. I'm particularly pleased that today we announce the start of a 4-year cooperation between the BDO member firm in Spain and the Royal Spanish Hockey Federation.
The 4-year deal will see the BDO brand on the Spanish team's playing shirts. Spanish coach Moritz Hendricks thanked BDO out of Iberia for its support and explained that his team and the firm share the same core values of team spirit, fair play and professionalism. BDO International is represented in more than 600 offices in 105 countries around the world. And Paul Van Elton is enthusiastic about further partnerships between the organisation's member firms and the sport of hockey.
The BDO member firms in both Germany and Switzerland have entered into sponsorship agreements with the hockey federations in their countries. Those in South Africa, Australia and Singapore are continuing to work together. And BDO member firms in other countries, including Argentina, Egypt and Pakistan, have worked very closely with the national hockey associations in the organisation of the international tournaments. Wherever we see opportunities for cooperation, we will try to promote them within our member firms.
Coming up shortly on BDO World Hockey, a new role for a former national player and coach.
Hi, I'm Rick Charlesworth. Whether you're coaching the local junior team or an elite level team, the priority is much the same. You have to make the experience of learning, training, performing and developing both fun and challenging. That's the stuff of quality coaching. When I coached the Australian women's hockey team, the Hockey Roos, I tried to provide an environment that I would have liked to have played in. Why don't you give it a go?
Persuasion is central to coaching success. Whatever the vision, values and purpose of the coach or management, it's necessary to take the team with you. Without a shared identity and purpose, teams rarely stand up to the stresses of difficult times. The best coaches know where they're going and can convince those around them to join them on the journey. Nothing is more important than the team. Teamwork is not about coordinating things, that's just timetabling. The crucial element is to create an environment of cooperation. Traffic lights can coordinate vehicle movement, but the test of a team would be to have the traffic flow when the lights were busted. Choosing to do the right thing at the right time. It requires the group to be tolerant, self-effacing at times, generous, sharing and committed to the group outcome above their own interests. What's often forgotten about great teams is that their performances are the result of all the individual incidents that make up any episode in the game. Nobody scored against our team unless we made 4 or 5 consecutive errors. Similarly, for us to score, we needed to put together 4 or 5 pieces of good play consecutively. Every single incident counts by every individual in the team, and everyone must take responsibility for their contribution.
The United States women's squad is in training for the Rabobank Women's Champions Challenge Tournament at Virginia Beach in July. And there's a distinctly Australian flavour about the preparation.
Ooh, good work.
Former Australian player and coach Terry Walsh has taken on the role of High Performance Director and is convinced the US women's program has plenty of potential. Walsh was a World Cup winner with Australia in 1986 and competed in the Montreal and Los Angeles Olympics, missing the Moscow Games as part of the Western boycott. After retiring from international competition, Walsh coached Malaysia, Australia and more recently the Netherlands. He'd been suggested as a contender for the Indian men's coaching job before taking the offer from the USA, but he says he wouldn't have gone to India.
Well, I think in men's hockey, India is a sleeping giant, and I think in women's hockey, USA, so really I've taken the choice to move towards the USA position, so no, I wouldn't take that opportunity.
And he believes he has plenty to offer in the high-performance role in the USA.
Well, I think it's, again, the sleeping giant syndrome and also the combination of the ability to use technology along with the coaching experience that I've been able to develop over a large number of years. And so I think if I can bring that along with the ability to use technology across a vast country, we might be able to make some inroads into the situation.
The college system is the basis of US women's hockey, and Walsh is keen to broaden that player base.
I think it's a very insular competition here. The lifeblood of the competition revolves around the college system, and that is a self-perpetuating organisation, and we have to broaden those goals and make the college system not the ultimate aim of the whole competition in the US. We have to make the International League the priority and help feed the college system. Potentially it's got a lot to offer, but I think the deficiencies, of course, are again the skill level and the knowledge level.
Helping with the skills will be one of the Australians who played under Walsh the coach. Lee Bottomede has joined Walsh as the head coach of the US women. A member of the Australian team from 1991 to 1998, Bottomede won an Olympic silver medal in 1992 and won a Champions Trophy gold medal in 1993. Apart from a bronze medal at the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, the US has struggled to break into the world's top 10. But Walsh believes they have the ability to improve.
I think they do need to improve in the knowledge base. I certainly believe that they have to improve in the skill level at the highest end of performance, and so a combination of both the skill and the knowledge, given that their athleticism is so good, I think it will put them in good stead.
As a student of the game and as a widely travelled coach, Walsh says he sees little change in the top echelon of women's teams, but believes the men's rankings could see some movement.
Improvement really over the next few years. I see Spain coming in the men's game and really putting some pressure on the very top teams. In the women's game, I'd like to see the US, but it's premature to be making that assumption. I think that they have the potential to come, but maybe two or 3 years is just a little too early. The other teams that can come, well, I really don't see too many, to be quite honest. I think Australia are going to resurge again, I've got no doubt about that. And we'll see some strong fighting at the top position between Holland and maybe Argentina.
Coming up soon on BDO World Hockey, venturing into Vietnam as we take hockey to Hanoi.
The Netherlands have moved to top spot in the Sahara World Hockey Women's Rankings after their win in the Champions Trophy tournament in Rosario. These rankings reflect the nation's performance over a full 4-year cycle, and the Dutch women are certainly consistent performers. Argentina's brace of bronze medals in Rosario and at the Athens Olympic Games have placed Las Leonas in second spot and within striking distance of the Dutch during 2005. Australia finished a disappointing fourth in Rosario and were fifth in Athens, but their third-place ranking is a fair reflection of the Hockeyroos' performance over the past 4 years. China hold fourth place in the rankings thanks to their semi-final appearance in Athens. Germany's women, the Olympic champions in Athens and the silver medalists in Rosario, are in fifth place in the rankings, but within striking distance of third. And New Zealand's top 6 finish in the Olympics ensures they hold a similar position in the global rankings, although they are a long way behind the Germans and will miss this year's Champions Trophy. Korea currently hold position 7. They're ahead of England, who are in 8th place. Spain are in 9th position, and Japan round out the top 10. In the Sahara World Hockey men's rankings, Germany are still on top despite their disappointing 5th place finish in Lahore last year. The Germans still carry ranking points from their World Cup win in 2002. The Olympic champions, Australia, are in 2nd place and within reach of Germany, despite missing the Champions Trophy event in Lahore. The Netherlands, silver medalists in Lahore, hold third place in the rankings, with any of the top three able to secure top spot later this year when all the teams meet in Chennai. Fourth place is held by Pakistan, thanks to their bronze medal in Lahore, and they have a clear lead over fifth-placed India. Although a win at home in Chennai would be worth another 300 points to the Asian champions later this year. Spain are in sixth place as a result of their commanding performance in Lahore last year and could climb as high as fourth if they can repeat that achievement in Chennai this December. Korea are seventh in the world at this time, thanks to their silver medal in the Champions Challenge event in Egypt in April, while Argentina, who won the challenge, have moved into the top 8. New Zealand will miss the next Champions Trophy after finishing sixth in Lahore, but still hold on to ninth place in the rankings. And England, who finished fourth in Egypt, round out the top 10.
Hockey has yet to make it to Vietnam, but two Hanoi-based expatriates were determined to change that by starting up the country's first hockey club. With no artificial grass surface available, Germany's Jan van Enden, a consultant to Vietnam's coffee industry, and Ben Rouse, a British journalist for an international news agency, went searching for alternative venues.
We found this basketball court at a sports centre here, and the surface is pretty good, and we tried it out, and yeah, it was fantastic. It was like playing on an indoor surface. We knew there were lots of other expats and also local Vietnamese here who wanted to play hockey, or at least take it up, try it out. So we put the word around, sent emails around, sent a few flyers, spoke to people. And sooner or later, we sort of accumulated around 20 people, mainly expats, but a handful of Vietnamese too. And it sort of boomerang. Well, it's got going from there. So we play once a week every Wednesday. Normally, sort of around 5-a-side games. We play for an hour. It's great fun, and we're hoping it will develop.
First Division player for German club Bonner THV believes there are many expatriates in Hanoi, both male and female, who would take up the game again if given the opportunity.
If Vietnamese people start playing, I think it would have a huge future. I mean, look at South Korea. I think they've just had a huge development in hockey players. So small, skillful, very good. But I think in Vietnam the people are really looking more into the American sports like basketball and all these kind of things. And football is very big. So I think hockey doesn't have a huge future for the Vietnamese people, but for the expat community, I think there's a lot of potential. And perhaps potential for bigger things among the local population of 80 million.
The Vietnamese love their football, they're very skillful at that, and I think hockey is another sport in which they'd excel at too. So hopefully, we can encourage the development and the growth of hockey here in Vietnam.
We didn't start this club off with this intention. But if we can do something about it to promote hockey more in Vietnam, I think, yes, great. And hopefully in 10 years we speak again and Vietnam has some good hockey players. That would be great.
The locals favour football, but some seem willing to give hockey a chance if the opportunity is provided.
I often come here to play football and see foreigners playing hockey, which I've watched on ESPN or Star Sports channels. I only saw them, but not the Vietnamese people playing. I have never tried hockey before, but I play soccer. Hockey and football have few similar features, and hockey requires players equipping themselves with gear that is unavailable in Vietnam.
There was an issue finding sticks and balls for the club, but Rouse, who played hockey for the Valley Club in Hong Kong before moving to Hanoi and is now back in Hong Kong, asked some of his old teammates to delve into their bags and hand over any old sticks, balls and cones they no longer needed. Van Enden made a similar appeal among his former German First Division colleagues, as well as several European manufacturers. Anyone who wants to help the lads get the hockey moving in Vietnam can email Jan van Enden at office@vienden.de.
South Africa's women's team has a new look with the absence of dynamic goal scorer Pietie Coetzee, who's taking a 6-month sabbatical from the international scene. At 26, the veteran of 180 international games and more than 190 goals is giving her body a rest in a bid to play through to the Beijing Olympics in 2008.
I've just decided to take a couple of months off hockey completely in terms of playing. I'm still involved in coaching and organising some events. But in terms of playing internationally, I've decided to take about 6-7 months, depending on how it's going. I'm taking some time off. I thought if I wanted to extend my career, I needed to take a break now. I mean, going for 10 years is quite a long time without a break. And so far it's proven to be really, really refreshing. I'm enjoying not doing anything hockey related playing-wise. I'm doing different cross-trainings at the moment to keep myself fit and in there, so I'm not too far behind when I decide to go back. And it shouldn't be much longer, a couple more months.
Despite Coetzee's strengths, the South African women's team has struggled in major tournaments. 10th at the Sydney Olympics, 13th at the 2002 World Cup and 9th in Athens. Now she's committed to making the next Olympics, and perhaps she'll take a few youngsters with her.
It's just something I'm doing at the moment, a little bit part-time. I'm putting a bit back into the game, doing quite a bit of coaching of youngsters. I organise a couple of courses here and there for people that need it. I think it's just something to broaden hockey in general in our country.
And the coaching is providing both relaxation and rewards.
I actually enjoy it very much. I don't really get all that frustrated. I try and channel all the energy into helping people, showing them what I've learned over the years. So, it's actually great when you see someone, when you've told someone some techniques that you've picked up over the years, you show it to them and they can do it straight away. Something that took me 10 years to get right, they do in a couple of minutes. So, yeah, it's very, very satisfying.
But then there's the administration side of the game, something Pietie Coetzee says helps her to understand those often anonymous people behind the scenes in her sport.
It gives me a lot more appreciation. I understand the process now. It's very frustrating at times, but in other times, once again, you're working with great people. It's not a problem. Office work, not one of my favourites. I would much rather be out in the field playing, but it makes a good break.
For Pietie Coetzee, golf is the new hockey, along with long-distance cycling and adventure racing.
Definitely not a natural golfer, but I try it, I tell you, and it's very frustrating, but it's a really enjoyable sport and it's a very humbling experience every time I go on the golf course.
She's playing golf off a 17 handicap, which isn't bad for a part-timer, but Coetzee was also a very good swimmer in her school years, playing hockey just to keep fit in the winter months.
No, it certainly wasn't an easy choice, but it became a very clear choice when I reached the age of about 15, 16. I really enjoyed the team sport. The swimming became a bit monotonous, swimming up and down the swimming pool all day, every day. It's also required a massive amount of really intense training and very little reward for it. So yes, it was an easy choice in the end.
And hockey should be glad she prefers the pitch to the pool. Pietie Coetzee is one of the stars of the game, but by her own admission, she still has a lot to do for herself and for South Africa.
The only thing that I've ever really wanted to achieve is to be the best player that I can possibly be. I know it sounds very broad, and that's I haven't achieved yet, so I don't think I can rest until I'm satisfied with that. I think it also, if I achieve that, it'll make my team better that I play in. And that's the most important thing, is my contribution in the team.
Before we go, Alexandria in Egypt was the venue for the Sahara Men's Champions Challenge event, with the winner earning the right to appear in the Champions Trophy tournament in 2006. Korea finished the round-robin series on top of the table with 4 wins and a draw from their 5 games, while Argentina reached the final with 3 wins and 2 draws in their qualifying games. On the final day, the battle for 5th and 6th places was between South Africa and host nation Egypt. South Africa had won their pool game 4-1 and repeated the dose in the final, winning in emphatic fashion by 5-2. The bronze medal game was between Belgium and England, who had played a 2-2 draw in the preliminary games. But it was Belgium in a high-scoring thriller who took third place, winning the consolation final by 6-5. Korea and Argentina had played a 3-3 draw in the opening game of the tournament. Both teams missed the 2004 Champions Trophy and were desperate to re-qualify. Argentina led 2-0 at half-time thanks to veteran Jorge Lombi, and they went on to seal the game and the title with 3 more goals in the second half to help their captain German Orozco celebrate his 200th international game in fine style. Argentina have now qualified for both the World Cup and the Champions Trophy in 2006. And here's an event that might be the perfect way to have a holiday, play some hockey and meet a lot of new friends. The Big Apple Hockey Festival is being played in New York in September with events for men's and women's teams and masters teams of over 35s. And there's as much as $10,000 in prize money on offer. You can get further details by sending a message to the email address on your screen. Entries close on July the 1st. In the next edition of BDO World Hockey, we'll review the Aslan Shah tournament in Kuala Lumpur. We'll go modelling with former German star Britta Becker. And New Zealand star David Kassouf shows another side of his sporting talent when he takes us wakeboarding in Auckland.